Beyoncé. Some call her the Queen of Pop, others say she's the goddess of the stage. But the real question is this: how did she build such an empire? And what really happened behind the curtain? The story I'm about to tell you isn't just about an artist's rise to fame. It's about courage, sacrifice, and the hidden decisions that shaped her journey. Was Beyoncé's life only about success, or were there much deeper truths behind the spotlight? Let's start with her childhood. In Houston, a little girl stepped on stage and mesmerized everyone. By the age of 8, the first seeds of Destiny's Child had already been planted. But think about it. At 8 years old, your whole life is already tied to the stage lights. If it were you, would you want that kind of responsibility so young? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious. Then came the Destiny's Child years. Say My Name, Survivor, Bootylicious. Every song was a hit, but behind the scenes, there were breakups, arguments, and never-ending tension. Do you think it's normal for a group shining in front of millions to face that much drama? Or do you believe someone behind the scenes had to be pulling the strings? And then Beyoncé stepped out on her own. It was a risky move, because many group members who went solo were forgotten. But she shook the world with the Dangerously in Love album. When Crazy in Love dropped, it felt like the world changed. Do you remember that moment? The first time you heard it, what did you feel? Was that the turning point in her destiny? But let's get to the truth. On stage, Beyoncé always looked flawless, but behind the spotlight, she faced real struggles. Competition, media pressure, the industry constantly telling her you must do better. How much do you think that can weigh down on a person? If it were you, could you handle that pressure? And then there's Jay-Z. The whole world was watching their relationship. Rumors of betrayal, arguments, scandals amplified by the media. Yet, they chose to stay together. Was it true love? Or was it a decision to remain strong in front of the world? What do you think? Share it in the comments. And here's the thing. Beyoncé didn't just make music. She became a fashion icon, a cultural figure, a movie star. Do you remember the Single Ladies dance? It went viral across the globe. What do you think made it so unforgettable? The moves, the energy of the song, or Beyoncé's undeniable stage charisma? But maybe the biggest question is this: did Beyoncé really achieve everything by her own will? Or was she part of the giant machinery of the music industry? What do you believe? Was she fully in control? Or were there unseen powers shaping her career? In this video, we'll dive into Beyoncé's journey from childhood to stardom, the truths hidden behind the spotlight, and the unanswered questions that still surround her. Watch until the very end, because trust me, you've never heard her story told like this before. Beyoncé's story isn't just about the glamour we see on stage. What makes it truly fascinating are the struggles, the crises, and the rebirths that happen behind the scenes. Let's go back to where it all began with Destiny's Child. In the late 90s and early 2000s, millions of young girls looked up to them. Say My Name wasn't just a song, it was a cultural moment. But what was really going on behind the curtain? Members were changing, management conflicts were rising, and Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, was pulling all the strings. Do you think it was fair for a father to both manage the group and push his own daughter into the spotlight? And how do you think that shaped Beyoncé herself? Then came 2003, a turning point. Beyoncé launched her solo career with Dangerously in Love. When Crazy in Love dropped, it was everywhere. Do you remember that iconic music video? On stage with Jay-Z, dancing with explosive energy. Suddenly, the world had a new superstar. But here's the question. Was Beyoncé carving out her own destiny at that point? Or was she still following her father's blueprint? Staying at the top is never easy. Think about the pressure, she must have felt. Every concert had to be better than the last. Every album had to outsell the previous one. Can anyone truly be happy living under that kind of pressure? What do you think? In 2013, Beyoncé shocked the world. Without any promotion, she suddenly dropped a surprise self-titled album. For that time, this was revolutionary. But here's the debate. Was that really Beyoncé's own decision, or was it a carefully calculated move by her massive team? Share your thoughts in the comments, because people still argue about this. And of course, we can't ignore her personal life. Her marriage to Jay-Z, the cheating rumors, and the explosive Lemonade album filled with raw emotions. Remember the lyric, "Becky with the good hair"? That wasn't just a line, it became a cultural storm. Do you think Beyoncé wrote that album purely as artistic expression, or was it also an open message to Jay-Z? Then there's Sasha Fierce, her alter ego. In 2008 with I Am Sasha Fierce, Beyoncé introduced a whole other persona. Imagine stepping on stage as a completely different character. Was this her way of protecting her vulnerable self? Why do you think an artist would need to create a second identity? Would you do the same if you were under that much spotlight? But Beyoncé didn't stop at music. Fashion brands, film projects, even a Netflix documentary like Homecoming. Remember her legendary Coachella performance in 2018? Over 100 dancers, a massive orchestra, and a show that the world couldn't stop talking about. Don't you think that performance proved she was more than just a singer? That she was truly a cultural leader? There's also the social side. Beyoncé has consistently highlighted women's empowerment and the fight for Black equality. When you hear "Run the World, Girls," doesn't it feel like more than a song? It's practically a manifesto. But here's the big question. Was Beyoncé using her art to push real change? Or was it also part of a powerful marketing strategy? Today, Beyoncé stands as a billionaire icon, breaking records, leading world tours, and influencing culture on a massive scale. But the questions remain. Is all of this success purely about talent, or is it about strategy, connections, and tough sacrifices made along the way? So let me ask you, what do you think Beyoncé's greatest strength really is? Her voice, her stage presence, or her vision and business mind? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because understanding Beyoncé isn't just about the music. It's about the bigger picture of who she really is. When we look at Beyoncé's story, we don't just see an artist, we see the spirit of an entire generation. From stepping on stage as a child to becoming a global superstar and then building her own empire, this journey was never smooth or easy. There were betrayals, family struggles, media pressure, and millions of eyes constantly expecting more from her. But here's the question. What really makes Beyoncé so special? Is it her voice, her unforgettable performances, or is it her ability to stand strong no matter what? Maybe her true gift is the power to reinvent herself again and again. One day she's the Queen of R&B, the next she's a feminist icon, and another day she's a cultural leader. Do you think this versatility is a carefully designed strategy, or is it simply a reflection of who she really is? Today, Beyoncé isn't just about music. She's a force in fashion, business, and culture. From her Ivy Park brand, to her Netflix documentary Homecoming, to her historic Coachella performance, she's shaping more than just sound. She's shaping culture. But let's be real. Is this vision entirely Beyoncé's own? Or is there a billion-dollar machine behind it all, making every move calculated? This is where I want to hear from you. Do you think Beyoncé is truly the voice of the people, or is she a perfectly designed brand? Write your thoughts in the comments, because there isn't just one answer to this. And remember, Beyoncé's story isn't over. In fact, maybe the real story is just beginning. With new projects, new albums, and unexpected moves, she's bound to surprise the world again. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. In the comments, tell us, what do you think is Beyoncé's greatest strength? And which celebrity story should we cover next? Because on this channel, we don't just talk about the past, we look at the future too. Every week, a new legend, a new story is waiting for you. And who knows, maybe Beyoncé's story will inspire you in your own life. Because sometimes music isn't just music, it's a guide, a message, and a light of hope.